Hello, Jerry Beal here, and this uh, audio has a title, a little bit long title. It's entitled "Better and Worse Conditions and Events Are Causing Better and Worse Lives." Is a very dishonest, irresponsible, and often violent and dangerous game of pretenses. And this is part one, which I'm talking about, is what this lie means personally. The reason better and worse conditions and events are not causing better and worse lives is that we experience anything and everything, at least in this material world, once removed from it through our own beliefs and interpretations about it. And then that isn't entirely true because we can't experience it, no matter what it is. But we can and always do experience our own and mental defining mind contexts about it. We can and do always experience our own and mental beliefs and interpretations about it. We can't experience it because it has no inherent meaning, no matter what it is. Nothing means anything and anything means nothing. There are no inherent meanings or definitions for anything at all. And so we ourselves give our own and very prejudiced meaning to it, but then we lie and pretend we didn't do that by simply saying and believing it is affecting me this way or that way. No, we're only affected by the meaning we give it. That's certainly improperly called reversing cause and effect, to gain and maintain our feelings and experiences of life. It's both a pretense and a lie, and that lie will eventually destroy humankind if we don't stop lying about that. And if we don't start telling the truth, especially to our precious children and next generations coming on. Now just think for a moment how we've constructed our social world, which includes our financial world, our religious world, and certainly including our better and worse people world, our better and worse conditions world, and our better and worse events world. And all of it is a pretense no matter what. For again, we're once removed from all those supposed better and worse worldly variations by our own and mental beliefs and interpretations about those supposed material worldly variations. I am the father of 10 wonderful children, and while they were growing up as children, with me being the sole provider financially for our family, most of the time we didn't have a big enough home for all, or well, we had a big enough home. It's just that they had to crowd into their own rooms. The boys had their rooms and the girls had their rooms. So none of them had their own rooms to call their own rooms. And they were just fine with that until they got a little older and found out that at least some of their peers at school had their own rooms and to themselves. It was then that they wanted their own rooms and for themselves too. They were all pretty good about it, though, because they knew that they were a part of a big family, and so they only complained about it sort of lightly. The point is, they were just fine with it, and when they didn't know that that kind of situation was being interpreted as a worse condition. And so they used a worse interpretation about it, which gave them a worse experience. In their case, it wasn't much of a worse experience, They didn't complain too much about it, and so it wasn't a real big deal for them. If their mom and I would have been able to teach them right-minded thinking, if we would have had the knowledge that at least I have now, then we would have gently corrected their thinking processes as they went along, as often as they came up with various versions of this person, condition, or event is making me happy, but that person, condition, or event is making me upset. And if we, we would have been able to correct their mind while they were saying things like that, they would have been, and they would see the facts and truth about it, they would have been very accepting of their own conditions as they were, and maybe felt sorry for their peers, as their peers might have gotten all dramatic about their supposed worse conditions. And they would realize that they aren't worse conditions, They're only interpreting them that way. Thus they would have been the super boys and super girls of peace and contentment when it came to leaving all the problematic interpretations behind. about anything and everything except when it comes to the care and keeping of bodies. And I mean the very basic care and keeping of bodies. And so thanks a lot for listening to this audio.